Big up, blood. Coachella. Coachella is happening this past weekend. I feel like I've not seen people on the timeline talking about it. I feel like I've seen a lack of commentary, a lack of clip sharing on the timeline of Coachella. I know season 2 is coming. Oh no, season 2. So weekend 2 is happening this weekend. But I think I've not seen many people on the timeline sharing clips. I don't know why. I've seen some Travis Scott stuff. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 Charlie XCX chops, but there's plenty of people playing, and it doesn't seem like it's have the same verve, whatever that's going on there. So who knows what's happening? But this is a really interesting article courtesy of Billboard. It says, as concert ticket prices soar, more than half of Coachella's general admission attendees are buying tickets through payment plans. So this is making me wonder, like, you remember there was a story that came out recently about, I think it was either DoorDash or Uber Eats or someone, one of these kind of delivery companies was implementing this new change where they were going to allow people to pay for their food via payment plan. So they were going to install some sort of Klarna payment plan processing. And I was thinking to myself, rah, man, like how broke do you have to be to like Klarna a meal from Five Guys or Burger King, KFC, whatever. Not Five Guys, because Five Guys meals are quite expensive, but fast food, you're having to fucking do that via payment plan. But I guess it shows that across the board, people either don't want to pay up front anymore because there is an option to do a payment plan, or people are broke and they don't want to pay, so they would rather do a payment plan, or they can't afford to pay, or number 3, the tickets are just too expensive to begin with. And no, regular person with a regular job has £500 to just drop on a ticket off the bat. They have to maybe break up into small payments, but if you don't secure it on the day, it sells out. So you have to kind of get it, via the payment plan. But it's also interesting just to see, where we're at in terms of society. But it also, I think, is interesting because this also proves that people are willing to do this with experiences, I don't think people are willing to probably do this with clothes as much, but I think when it comes to experiences, because you can get your fits off, you can record content, you can network, you can listen to great music, see artists that you like, blah, 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 blah. It's probably worth going on a payment plan and paying that extra bit on interest, because those memories are going to last forever, Pretty depressing, but it is what it is. So let's read the article, courtesy of Dave Brooks from Billboard. Tens of thousands of music fans will descend on California's desert this weekend for the first 2 iterations of Coachella. Approximately 80,000 to 100,000 fans each weekend will have coughed up that's a lot of money, bro. $599 per ticket to see headliners Lady Gaga, Travis Scott, Green Day, and Post Malone. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's probably a lot. That's probably too much. Like, there's a lot of artists that perform at Coachella, but I'm gonna say that's too much for those people. If you were going to divide 600 between 4 people, I think $600 to see Lady Gaga, Travis Scott, Green Day, and Post Malone is too much money. They're not worth it. They're not. Simply not worth it. Especially because you're probably not gonna like one of them at least. You're gonna be a fan of maybe 2 at most. So you're paying $300 to see Lady Gaga or fucking Post Malone or Green Day. No, thank you. But ticket prices is often just the cost of entry. Many of those fans will spend more than $1,000 per weekend on lodging and cough up hundreds of dollars more on food, drinks, and merchandise. It's a substantial spend for any of the 20-somethings in Coachella's target demographic. The festival organizers are increasingly help finances their purchase through payment plan programs. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of even techno festivals recently do that, which is a good way to kind of secure people into festivals, to get them locked down. And I also wonder, this is also an interesting thing I've been thinking just now, I wonder if the amount of people that back out of festivals decreases if they're on the payment plan. Because I think when people buy tickets outright, maybe they're prone to going to sell it because there's a lot of money you invested outright. But if you decide to book via a payment plan, there's a possibility that you're probably not going to sell it on or not turn up. Because yes, they get the money if you buy it and still not turn up, but they probably want to complete the transaction and have you turn up, spend money on a fucking charging, to charge your phone, spend money on food, spend money on drink. They want you to attend because they can extract way more out of you. So I wonder if payment plan ticket buyers are more prone to turn up than not turn up. I don't know. It continues. Approximately 6% of general admission ticket buyers at this year's festival opted to use Coachella's payment plan system, which requires little as $49 upfront for tickets or the annual concert. The Desert Festival isn't alone. Lollapalooza, Electric Day Carnival, and Rolling Loud are all see the majority of their tickets using some kind of payment plan. That's actually a good idea. especially considering the amount of young people that go to these type of festivals. It makes sense to give them this option because it makes the regular kid who probably doesn't have affluent parents a chance to go. Because for $49.99, I think every kid probably has this available to put down. But can they put down $5.99? Probably not. So this is actually a good idea to get people to buy tickets and go. I still think the tickets prices already are too much. I just don't think $600 Coachella is worth it. It's just not worth it. You know, I'm sorry. That festival isn't good. I don't think there's a single festival that should be $600 anyway. That includes fucking Glastonbury. There's not a single one that makes sense. It should be a $600 for the ticket for entry. Like, come on, man. There should be a cap on festival prices, in my personal opinion, but I could be wrong. Representative at Golden Voice, who puts on Coachella, declined to comment on the story. One source who asked to remain anonymous because they weren't authorized to speak to the media told Billboard that payment plans have fundamentally changed how festivals are marketed to the public. The quote, festivals are now marketing a cheap down payment as the main call to action. The messaging is $20 down gets you in the door, or $50 down gets you started. It's no longer about the artist or the festival or the lifestyle. The message, you can afford this to actor. Exactly. It's not even about the music. Because I guess it makes sense, isn't it? Because I guess most people that go to festivals, do they really, especially these type of festivals, do they really care about who's playing anyway? No? Like, do they actually care? Apart from the one or two people, I don't think so. There are festivals that people do care. Like, again, I went to Primavera. I think people care. Coachella, people care. There's one in England. I forgot the name of it that people care. But places like Coachella, I don't think people actually care. It's more so like it's more like a hangout. And I've noticed actually via social, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I've noticed like Coachella's always, I know show's always been that way, but I saw this clip of Lori Harvey. And people like screaming out her name as she's walking past, trying to get to like the VIP section at the front of the festival. And it's like, it's become like a gawking, like a zoo thing. It's become like real life FOMO or whatever that site is, right? Dewsmar, FOMO, whatever, right? Or real life pop bass. Because that's what I'm surprised by, actually, thinking about it. I'm surprised pop bass doesn't have their own festival. But it's become a real life version of those places where people go to like be in the presence of celebrities. It's kind of wild. So maybe $600 for those people is worth it because you not only get to see and hear your favorite artist, you also get to stare at Timothée Chalamet and fucking Kylie Jenner as they're kissing. You know, you kind of get to look at them as they're holding hands walking through the crowd. You get to look at Cara Delevingne. You kind of get to all. It's a very strange thing. So maybe that payment plan thing is actually a good idea because some of those people just want to go for the lack of a better term for the cultural relevance of going there. Right? It's April. Everyone knows April's is Coachella month, and you want to get those pictures up. You want to get your fucking, maybe get a bit of a following, maybe get a bit of a bump. If you upload pictures during Coachella, who fucking knows? But it's kind of wild to think that the messaging first is about the payment plan and not about the artist. It's not about who's playing at all. It's about, hey, you can afford this. It continues. The same source told Billboard that it's not uncommon for some fans to have 4 or 5 different festival payment plans hitting their account at one time. Typically, fans pay as little as $19 or $20, I guess, to get started on the payment plan that's extended over a period of several months. 3 months generally for Coachella, since most buying happens after the lineup is announced, which until 2025 took place in early January. This year, fans who signed up before 25th had their payments split into 3 payments, with the last payment hitting the user's account on March. But I wonder what that's doing to smaller festivals, though. That's the problem, isn't it? Coachella could probably afford to do this because they want to just get you in, because they know once they get you in, because it's like in the middle of nowhere, Coachella. I've watched loads of vlogs, people go there, you can't actually go to shops, so you have to buy everything there, and everything is drastically overpriced. Coachella know if they get you there, they're gonna extract another $200 out of you minimum, so they're fine. But for smaller festivals, having a payment plan must really fucking hurt. Because you're not getting the money all in one chunk. People are paying it across the board. Sometimes payments don't go through. Sometimes people are going to end up selling them anyway in the end. Running a festival is not an easy task. The system is different than those popular fintech payment plans, firms like Klarna, Affirm, or Sizzle, which pay out the vendor in full and reimburse themselves by collecting the remaining payments from buyers. These firms make money from merchants and processing fees they collect from vendors, and in some cases, interest payments charged to customers that go beyond their original payment plan. Okay. Because firms like Klarna and Affirm essentially grant buyers credit, often run credit histories on users, they are heavily relegated under a number of states and federal financial frameworks. Oh, okay, true. Because you have to do a you have to do a credit check if you're using Klarna and shit. Anyway, okay, so that probably might explain why these ticket things are more popular, because they probably don't require a credit check, or they're easier to pass the credit check, which probably makes sense because young people don't really have good credit because they maybe fucked it up, or they don't have payments like monthly payments and credit cards and shit. The payment systems used by festival promoters are administered by ticketing companies like AXS, Ticketmaster, and Frontgate, and are offered as a service in exchange for the festival promoter's business. These systems are not considered credit providers since there's no third party fronting the vendor full prices on transactions. Instead, the vendor is paid over time as each payment goes through. Oh, risky. Risky. No wonder some festivals don't do this, man. That's sweating. It opens you up to more potential buyers, but it also opens you up to people dropping, flaking, And I love a good flake. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. So you give me an option to flake, I'm a flake. So this is open for people flaking, not having paid money on their card at the time that they originally, on a date that money's going to go through. Ticket buyers are charged I guess this works the same way as Airbnb. Airbnb has the same thing. When you pay via payment plan on Airbnb, it's not like a credit check thing. I'm sure it isn't. They just set up different dates that the payments are gonna, hit your account and shit. Ticket buyers are charged $41 fee for using Coachella's, but I think in Airbnb, I think the payment plan is only over a certain amount, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they let you do a payment plan if it's like a £91 fucking weekend stay somewhere. I think it has to be over a certain certain pound amount. Ticket buyers are charged $41 for using the Coachella's payment plan, similar to what other festivals charge fans for the use of the payment plans. The fee is equivalent to approximately 8% of the ticket price, which is still far cheaper than what a fan might pay for financing a ticket on a credit card. The revenue generated from the fee is split between the ticketing company and the promoter. While some criticize festivals for using fees as a revenue generator, festival organizer Bob Sheehan with the California Roots Festival in Montgomery, California, tells Billboard that payment plans are a critical link between fan affordability and generating the revenue needed to finance modern multi-day festivals. So effectively, they can't give us cheap festivals because it costs too much to run them. So instead, they're going to give us payment plans. That's what they're saying. We can't lower the prices and make them more affordable. So we're just going to keep the prices high, increase them over time, but give you a payment plan so it doesn't look like it hurts, but it still hurts. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Sheehan estimates that 65% to 7% of the festival attendees use payment plans to pay for their tickets, and adds that the entire system is built upon trust that we'll deliver the experience we promised, and trust that our fans will make their payments on time. If Coachella attendees miss their scheduled payments, typically the attempted debit card is declined, official funds, and expired. They are given 10 days to bring their account to current. Okay, that's a good idea. So if you got insufficient funds or your card is expired, you got 10 days to bring it up to snuff. If the 10th day passes, the payment is not received, then the order is cancelled, and the fan is issued a credit that can be used towards next year's festival. Wow, I like that. It's quick and simple. You miss it, you got 10 days. If you don't, the credit goes back to your account. They move on. I wonder, do they give that ticket to somebody else or not? Credit expires after with 12 months with insurance. Expired monies and credits, often referred to as breakage, as business is governed by state law, though some sources say that revenue generated from breakage is minuscule. Most default happens after the initial deposit is made on the first payment. It's very rare that a fan will default tickets after 2 payments. All of the incentives for the promoter are built are that the fan pay their ticket in full and attend the event so they can spend money on beer and parking and merchandise. Yeah. As great as this is, I still think we're going to reach a point where this is all going to implode. There's too many on. Like, there's just too many festivals. There's too much on. There's too much on in nightlife, personally, I feel like. There's probably too many festivals as well. And we're just going to reach a point naturally where things just implode. It's just going to have to be a case. There's just too much on. People are not making enough money to afford this stuff. And eventually, we're just going to come to a point where everyone's going to be like, you know what? Enough's enough. Let's move on. Especially because these guys probably can't make the money that they think they can make because of how expensive everything is. So it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But hey, at least Coachella's trying, and hopefully more festivals do this, which means more people start to give those festivals a go. But I feel like a lot of young people have found other ways to have fun, They're not even going to, I don't know, are they even going to these things as much as they were in the past? I'd love to see what the attendance, because I think last year's Coachella had one of the lowest attendees, attendances ever. So I would love to see what the actual attendance for this year's Coachella is going to be in the end. Some of them are, sell out early, like fucking Glastonbury sold out last year in November when when the tickets got released. So some things are doing well, but I think across the board, I think a lot of people are probably struggling. And probably why a lot of festivals you're hearing them kind of, cancel or stop or whatever else it may be over time. But hey, what do I know?